You will see, I did send you photographs of what I did at home. I spent an absolutely blissful Sunday painting it. Surprised myself because I was there for about 3 hours. And I didn't know I could last that long. So, that's nice to know. What I have done is to introduce some of those bright colors down here on either side of the path and on the grass. I put in a shadow of the tree because it breaks up the path. There's one here and there's one there. And also I have introduced flickers of other colors on top of the big splodges of paint that were up here. So big spot of orange there, and it's got a flicker of alizarin across it. So I put the dark alizarin on the light orange. And in other places, I put the light yellows and oranges on darker colors, just to break the whole thing up a bit and to give it that sense of the light flickering on the leaves. What I wanted to do was to get the picture far enough so that I could do this part of the foreground, because the picture stands as it is. It works fine. It doesn't really need these in, but I think they will add a little je ne sais quoi. So that's what we'll have a go at. These are granite sets, just to make this part of the road a little less prone to puddles and such. There are also granite sets running down the gutters on both sides for the full length of the path. So I'll be able to put some of those in and then work on these. Now, things to think about. The sets will be smaller at the back than they are at the front. They aren't regular in shape, so the little patterns of dark earth are going to be different for all the branches. So I can't just do a hexagon. That's not going to work. So I'll have to think in terms of that as well. And I want these at the front to be darker than those at the back, just to bring to adjust the perspective. What I'm going to do is start with the gutter here, because I think it'd be easier to start there, frankly. I am using little brushes, very little brushes. I don't normally paint oils with these, except right at the bitter end, so to speak. And I wonder if that will put that there. Will it stay? Yes. That's okay. I can see that quite nicely now. I know it's covered the picture, but that's no hardship, is it? Well, not for me anyway. Right. Okay. So what am I going to start? I'm going to start with this. This is a rigger. Very, very thin, long hairs. This is, if you've not got a steady hand and you want to draw a straight line, these are very good, because what you do when you're painting is you actually press the full length of the thing and just draw it along, and you get a straighter line than if you try to do it like this. You can't get a straight line like that. Are you with me? Good. He was not with me. Right. So I'm starting. Am I starting with that? I don't want it to be too dark at the beginning. So I'll take a bit of light. Mix in the paint. This is a sort of taupe, I suppose you could call it. It's just burnt umber and white, actually. And now I don't want a straight line here because, for obvious reasons, the sets aren't straight. So, nor do I want the ones at this edge are slightly canted. I want to get this close. This is patient, observing sort of thing that you're trying to do. These are coming straight down at me, so in fact they are they're straight on squares in effect. I'm going off a bit there. Drive your backs actually. Add a bit of blue to that. Might just put in the set itself this time. Maybe put that one in. And then a little bit of light. I know there'd probably be a bit of orange in there too. Sort of, a bit of red. It's the advantage of having every color out. You can put in what you want when you want it. And if they catch anywhere, they're going to catch here in the guttery bit. Right. Every time I add a color, it changes the mix that I'm using to create these granite sets the way I want to define them. Not a very strong brush, so if you're trying to pick up color, sometimes it decides to be a little bit hazy about what it's doing. Okay. Right. So we're getting there slowly. When you're doing this, and you've started, you look at it, you think, my God, that's terrible. Doesn't look anything like. But you will find, you know, just bat on. You can always wipe it off if it's just, you know, keep going. So that oh, it's reasonably like a gutter, actually. Now I come to think of it, I'm quite pleased with that. Okay, let's move to the other side now. The other side, I will need much less definition because it's over here. I don't need to do quite so much detailing on this side because you can barely see it. In fact, it comes down as a lighter color, doesn't it? One of the things I don't worry about is making a mess of these dollops of paint the way I'm painting at the moment because they're all going to get mixed up anyway. If it gets really bad, I can always scrape it off. So down here, we've got the occasional flash of the set. Just marking the boundary. And because they're over there, they will be at an angle. So that line is at an angle, and that line is also at an angle because what you're trying to do is make them lie down, you know, which is what they do. Right. Now then, if you're doing acrylics, don't do that, because you'll have a problem. Right, I'm going to take some of this white, especially the messed up white, and add some, I think it's burnt umber I've got here. Couldn't find the sepia, which is the alternative I normally use. I want a sort of creamy white color, just to put the odd set. Oops. To put the odd set in here, going across the path. I think I could actually add a bit of yellow to that. You can't see it. It doesn't show at the moment. That's why you can't see it. Right. So we're putting in, just putting in sets, and I think they are, yes, they are. There's like a row, like a house. So the second lot go across the I don't want to take it all the way across there. I'll take it on down here a bit. Okay, and then I'll pick up my mid-tone dark. I don't want to outline the whole thing. That would just be terrible. But the thing is, these little lines start, I'm talking about the lines that are coming this way now, start like that and end up like that. So I've got to see if I can arrange that as I'm going. An exercise, you know, in perspective, and it's not a thing I'm very good at. So this is salutary experience. The and for me. still. Right. Sounds like you're all waiting for me to go wrong. Right, now we're going to come over here. I'm staying in that line. I'm introducing darker ones. And not filling in all the, leaving the light patches. Yeah. Now over here, they don't have to be quite as canted as over there. So that helps a little bit. And you don't make this stage too thick, because you're going to have to be enormous by the time you get down here if you move on too much. So, one goes there. Like basket weave, trying to get the thing to. And then if I take that color across as the try not to make them all the same shape. Some of them are zigzags, some of them are little straight lines. You want to make the thing as varied as possible. Right, how are we doing? I don't want them to be all. And the paint is fairly runny at this stage because I just want it to. If I was really thinking about it, I'd let it down with oil rather than turps. Because oil keeps, if you mix with oil, it keeps the consistency of the paint. And that helps with the opacity. If you're thin with turps, which is what I'm doing, then it makes it less opaque. So you have to use thicker paint if you want to cover it. Linseed oil. Linseed oil. Linseed, yes, linseed oil. And I used to say that well-known Irishman. Right. Now, blue is actually a greeny blue, so I'm going to add a bit of green to it. I'll get some of these sets over here. That's a sort of greeny colour. Sometimes the vegetable earth between them is mossy. So you can even make the lines green. Make it different, It'll take a long time, you realise. Good half hour. I think we could probably. I don't want to hide all that runny bit underneath because that's part of the attraction of the thing. So I have to think about that too. see what we can do down here. If want to go putting in all the ground sets themselves, I just want to give the impression that they're there. You know, the idea of putting every blessed last one all the way down would be, yeah, it would, and even if you very carefully make them all, different colors and different shapes, that sort of thing. It's not going to. All I'm doing is tickling a bit of paint on, you know, and thinking about how they go, because sometimes you can see a particular shape, there's a sort of collection of shapes across there, which you could put in if you think about it carefully. Jupiter. Because the sets are shaped, sometimes the shadows are a bit, the mud is a bit thicker in places. So the whole time I'm trying to vary how I represent them. So that's what's going to make it look real. And at the same time, I've got to think of the perspective of what I've done. I might, when I've finished all this, paint them out. I mean, it doesn't work, right? But if I don't try, I won't get the impressions I want. Not very happy about the ones that are yellowy. I don't like. No. I think they're fighting with the right. Okay. Now, what have we got here? Nobody's saying it's horrible, so maybe we're getting something. I quite like this watery bit because I think it helps. And I'm not looking for a thin straight line. I'm looking for a wobbly straight line. If I can. Oh golly, well, I won't finish this, will I? I hope you haven't found this bit too boring, because it's a technique, you know. meant to be blue. It's a bit darker over here. I haven't, in fact, put that in, so there's no reason for it to be darker over here. You don't need a reason. Just need it to look good. What? Make it look good. Yeah. Sometimes reasons help, I will say, but you don't really need to be explaining everything and having everything perfect the way it, the way it actually looks in actuality. This is a new creation. This is my feelings and interpretation of the view that I saw. I started with that, stuck the leaves back on, and we changed the picture in time. Yes, it's added to the perspective because it's pulling your eye over there, which is why I'm working over there, because it works. It looks nice even here, not just back there. I can see that that bit is actually working. I'm going to put a bit of orange in the path here to break up those lines a bit. Got to be so easy, just to make them equidistant in the same shape. How are we doing for time, Rachel? Well, you know, it's just more of the same. If I do it here, I won't have to do it at home. You can do this sort of technique with a brick wall. If you've got a brick wall in a picture and it's quite a prominent brick wall, and you need to at least indicate that it's bricks, and you can use this idea that I've got here to do that. But you're not actually painting every wretched brick. You're giving yourself a nightmare while you're doing. So I'm definitely not going to be finished today. There we are. Means I can have another blissful half hour. I think it's working anyway.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Working, yeah. Well, yeah. So I was chancing my arm a bit, I wasn't sure this was going to work. But, I think it helps if you see me fall on my nose anyway. Well, I can usually rescue it. That is the advantage of long years of doing it. doesn't make you necessarily a better painter, but it does mean that you can rescue things, you know. I've been varying the color of the lines. I've been varying the color of the sets. Manifestly, I've got to, you know, continue doing what I'm doing. They're bigger when you come down here. So that's nice because they fill more space. Right, okay. I think I told you, don't ever take that line out of the corner of the painting. Yeah. It's a very amateur mistake, and you're not amateurs, so don't do it. So me. I don't think this is a class of amateurs at all. When you seem to swallow what I said, or Rachel says wholesale, and it comes back and haunts me. So that's good. Another tip George gave me when I was learning how to paint was, don't paint the four colors the same color. So even if you've got a blue sky, vary the blue. And I guess if you've got grass, vary the green. Don't have it there and there the same. Don't have those the same. It's just a little thing, but it all adds to the mystique, you know. People say, "Oh, you can paint," and you, yeah, collection of little interesting exercises. Right. So, I think it's probably time you were doing something. Nobody moving. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So there we are, friends. Just enjoy yourselves.
All right then, Anne, we are gradually getting people back to painting, and we are about to run out of Zoom entirely.
Come on and have a look if you want to.
So
go back and have a look.
Honestly, you can't get this stuff. What I was going to say was I will do what I can with the video and we will send it around, and happy Christmas.